I'm Stefan Buchta, and I've spent the last 8 to 10 months looking at short-term rental situation here in the island. I have a data analyst background, and so I have done a lot of data modeling, data research, collected a list of all the rentals on this island, talked to many communities, and also talked to the lawmakers and looked at what all the other places on the mainland, all the other cities and municipalities have done in response to short-term rentals. My message to the council was that Bill 108 is a really good start. Karen Eoff and Drew Kanua put a lot of work into it. They met with many individuals, but this is a really, really hairy problem. And the group of people that worked on this originally did as much, I think, as they could do on it. But at this point, I think it is important to bring more people into it before you finalize it. Mayor Kim has said that most of the other islands at this point, the middle class is basically unable to buy a home. And he said this today again, middle class being firemen, policemen, nurses, your neighbors are unable to buy a home because the prices of homes have been pegged to what mainland people are willing to buy in almost any neighborhood. And our island is getting there, but it's not quite there yet, at least not in all neighborhoods. And so this is what the fight is about, to not allow this pegging to happen. And it really comes down to a very difficult choice that we as an island have to make, and that this bill hasn't sufficiently spelled out, and the council, in my opinion, hasn't sufficiently discussed. Do we want to make this, and these are Harry Kim's words, a nice place to live? Or do we want to make this a nice place to make business and visit? And we can have some of both, but we'll have to place an emphasis because those two goals are in conflict. The more we focus on making money, the more we turn this into a resort area that is not necessarily attractive to even future visitors 10 years down the line that might be looking for a place that is still pure and authentic and that may have the money to pay, to go anywhere, to Bali, to any other place. So if we let this deteriorate, as it's already happening in some areas of Kona, to sort of a Disneyland environment where houses are empty when tourists are not visiting and houses are screaming with rental cars when tourists are visiting, then we have a real problem. There is a big discussion about grandfathering here. And grandfathering is this term that we always use about when a new law that gets introduced, what do you do with people who are already here? It is very, very bad. We have between 5,000 and 8,000 people doing this at this point, a lot of them under the cover. And we have to decide what to do. And I was thinking, what could be an analogy that we could use in other areas where we've gone through this? My analogy that I'm thinking, and this is not land use, I understand this, is in pollution. When Los Angeles came around to finally legislate air pollution, it did not offer permits to all the big polluters out there and said, you can go on, but we'll tax you. No, it actually removed some of the big polluters out there. It did not grandfather them in, because if you had grandfathered them in, air pollution would have never disappeared. And then there's also so many small individuals, all of us driving on the highway, right? That a lot of people in LA had to cut back themselves too and look at their own patterns. And only then would it go away. And so if we allow across the board grandfathering to everybody, even the people with multiple entire homes, then we have a problem. Of course, nobody wants to impact the small guy that's renting a second bedroom out of their home. I think that's beautiful, that should be encouraged, and many people of that kind testified today, and it's a great opportunity to meet people internationally and so on. That's not what we're talking about. That's not even what this bill wants to address. I want to say one more thing that is key. On all mainland cities that have been successfully tackling this, they have brought lawyers in. The planning departments are not able to address this. They can send out violations, but often those violations don't get answered. Certified letters that go out don't even get replied to. And so it drags on and on. And so the cities that have successfully gone after the big abusers, those people with 3, 4, 5 houses that they took off the market and converted, um, those cities basically have gone after it with their lawyers. So they have set dedicated legal staff aside, and you can measure the success of an initiative to impact this, just as in pollution, is how much you're willing to go against established interests that have money in the ground. And if you have a lot of money in the ground, then it will get legal instantly. So any bill without a plan that sets aside resources to deal with will have a very hard time to be successful. That is my point. I don't at this point see this in Bill 108. When I see it, then I will fully applaud it.